Let's go.
You've chopped up sex offenders, attacked the 7-7 bombers in Belmarsh. Your mum was a prostitute.
My stepdad knocked me out in front of my whole school. My brother sexually assaulted my sister who was 4 years old.
Child sex offenders. I mean, we all hate them, but you've chopped them up.
I'm not going to give him a slap. I want to fucking maim you. I'm going with this. This is what I'm doing. And I just started absolutely chopping his legs and his feet. And as he's gone to run, his foot's literally just gone click. It's fucking hanging on by about ½ inch of flesh. Now I got there, a man had just been killed in his cell. So you can literally just boil your kettle, walk out and just go crash. So I did that to a few. Glass jar smashed up in a sock. Face burnt all down this side, face hanging off this side. I've now got a hit on me. It's called ghee. The Muslim boys were known for it. They would have a pot this fucking big. Ghee, marmalade, fucking all sorts. They would come behind you and fucking pour it over your head. Your ears literally slide down your face. You don't recover from that. Your face is melted. The Muslims, they run our prisons, our ACAT system. Fully run it. Lonely are the brave. We're fucked. We're on our way out as a nation.
For the record, are you a psychopath? For the last year, I've been working with Ryan from 𝐶𝐨𝐺, and now they're sponsoring our channel so we can keep bringing you these conversations. 𝐶𝐨𝐺 are the #1 mentoring program that teaches you e-commerce step by step where no previous experience is necessary. Whilst working with 𝐶𝐨𝐺, I've seen life-changing money be made and community members free up more time to spend with their families. A successful business is not built overnight, and you would need to put in the work before reaping the rewards. The more you put in, the more you get out. The community are full of like-minded people, all striving for success and all willing to help each other. 𝐶𝐨𝐺 offer one-on-one training, online courses and group seminars so you get all the support you need to succeed. If you're looking for a new opportunity, get in touch with Ryan via Instagram at @RyanJB and he'll take you through all the steps to building your own successful business. So, Brad, thanks for coming on.
Oh, I'm really, really excited to be here, Liam. I'm a massive fan and it's an honour to be here.
I appreciate that. And your story it's a wild ride. You've chopped up sex offenders. You've been jailed for that. You've attacked other sex offenders in jail. You're well known for that. You attacked the 7-7 bombers in Belmarsh. But we'll take it back. Your mum was a prostitute. That's very heavy, very unusual. So take me back to your childhood and how your mum being a prostitute affected your childhood and lead it into the first experience of trauma that you had.
So my mum and dad had me. I was conceived in Dr. Bernardo's care home. My mum was in there from when she was 11. Both her parents died. My father was in there because he was naughty. They had me at 15, 16 years old. So you can only imagine 2 young kids trying to raise a baby. The first time I realised what my mother did was I answered the house phone. And when I answered the house phone, a guy asked me how much for a blowjob. I must have been 4 or 5. Maybe my voice sounded feminine, I don't know. But that was the first time I questioned it. And then over the years, I'd walk downstairs and I'd see men, you know, with my mother in certain circumstances that no boy really wants to see. And in the end, my mum was quite open and told me. I think maybe she was so young, maybe she believed that that wouldn't be too much of a traumatic thing. I don't think she understood the damage that that did to me. You know, and over the years, I tried to tell myself she did it for us. She did it because we had nothing. We come from the East End, we're poor. But I was no better off. In fact, I was still the poorest kid in the neighbourhood. So I don't know where the fuck all that money went, to be fair. But she was a very beautiful woman. And it massively damaged her and it damaged me in turn. Because when you see your mother like that, it'll put a distaste in your mouth. And it's hard to trust women after that. She not only was a working girl, she was very dangerous with her body. She was very gorgeous. Like, for instance, she slept with my dad's best friend. She didn't do that because she was sexually attractive to that man. That could be understandable, if not condemned or condoned, understandable. But she didn't do it for that. She had no feelings down there for sex. She had been used by men for many years in the care home, etc. So she does that to hurt. She married my stepdad. She slept with his brother to hurt. And many, many years later, she also slept with several of my friends to cause damage, to cause carnage, to hurt.
To hurt you?
To hurt me. That really had an impact on me with women because I idolised her. You know, make no mistake about it. I'm going to say some things because they're the truth and maybe someone will relate to this story and it'll help them. But I idolise her and I love her, but it doesn't change the facts of my life or what she did and how she was as a mother.
And I get that better than anyone probably. Someone harms you to beyond your wildest dreams, but you still can't help but love them.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to an ordinary person that's lived an ordinary life. So I do get that. And it's fucking sad, and it's very heavy. So you're essentially, you lived in a brothel where your mum was the maitre d'.
Well, yeah, she was the only working girl there, but yeah, she would sometimes drive out. She'd sometimes do out calls, in calls, and certain men would come, and when they'd see me bump into me on the hallway, I say corridor, in the hall, they'd drop me a £5 and a little smile. And I look back now and I think they must have thought, fucking poor kid, I was buzzing with a £5, right?
Yeah.
But as I say, yeah, I do, and I did love her. I didn't attend her funeral, and a lot of people my family thought, how ruthless are you, Brad, not to attend her funeral? And the reason I didn't attend her funeral, Liam, was because I couldn't stand there at a funeral with my mother where I knew all the things she had done to me and listen to people talk bollocks, because that's what people do at funerals, right? When someone dies, somehow we tell the world they were a fucking angel, and they weren't. I don't want no one to do that at my funeral. Tell the truth. Be honest. Say what I was. Bit of a... You know, got a good side as well. Be honest. I couldn't listen to it because I knew it weren't true. I made my peace with her. I said my prayers. And I was heartbroken when she died, because she died in a really, really bad way. 5 years COPD. She really struggled. But I couldn't stand there and I couldn't listen to praise. And that's what funerals are. People praise. We don't one ever goes up on stage and goes, I'm glad he's dead. He was a... No one ever does that. They go, he was lovely, him, and we all know he wasn't.
It's funny you say that. I've had... You know, you always go off sometimes in your own little world if you're driving, and you just, there's scenarios run through your head. And I've always thought about when my dad dies, that I would like to get up and speak at his funeral and say he was a bad man. Don't remember him as a good man and all the good things he'd done, the handful. Remember the thousands of things that he'd done to fucking ruin other people's lives. Remember the person as they were. So again, I'm fully on side of you. Other than that, was there any abuse? I mean, that doesn't get more abusive, by the way, but was there any kind of violence towards you?
Oh, my mum would punch fuck at me all the time, you know. We grew up in the East End. She grew up in the East End. And it was never looked at back then as abuse. Like, I can remember, like, standing in kitchens as I got older with my aunties, and they would tell the stories of me. Remember when you got punched in the nose by your mother and she gave you the left hook and then followed up with a boot? And they would giggle. It was laughed. There was fucking blood everywhere. And even I, at that time, it took me to when I had my daughter. I remember when I had my daughter and I held her in my arms. I remember that was a point for me when I looked at her and thought, I could never harm you. And that was when I realised that my life had been abusive. Because up until that point, I didn't know my life was any different to anyone else's.
You think it's normal?
I thought it was normal. I mean, I didn't think everyone's mother was a brass, but I thought we all have, this is kind of life. And it was only realising that this is not how we would ever treat children, right?
No, totally.
That made it really bittersweet. My daughter being born on that day, I remember it being a bittersweet, looking at her thinking, I love you, and realising that I was unloved.
That's the ultimate moment of clarity.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, very bittersweet, painful, yet wow.
Wow.
Your hatred for child sex offenders, was there a pinnacle moment that made you, I mean, we all hate them.
Of course we do.
But you've chopped them up. Was there a pinnacle moment in your life that made you hate them with that much venom?
Yeah, there was. So I stayed living with my mum until I was about 15, 16 years old. During that time, my mum's sister, they were the close sisters, that she had a son who was like a brother to me. We was 2 months apart. We did everything together. So 16-year relationship. He's my brother. He's not my cousin. He's my brother. And he lived in the same house as me. In the end, I left and I moved to live with my dad. And in that time, my brother sexually assaulted my sister, who was 4 years old. And my little sister, she was 4, and she said to her dad one day, which was my stepdad, do you want me to touch your willy, Dad, like I do Harry's? And that was it. My fucking world erupted. So when I was told that I lived at my dad's house, I smashed my dad's house up. I lost the plot. And I never, ever got to see Harry. I never saw him. And the fucked up thing about it was, even after time, I still had a love for him. He'd been my brother 16 years, but I had a disgust for him. But I could never do anything. He took my innocence away, and my sister's innocence and mine. Up until that age, my sister jumped in the bath with me. I never saw her naked. She's my little baby girl. Come here. And from that moment, she would still try and sit on my lap or jump in the bath with me, or come in my room when I was naked, and it was gone. I was very, and I still am to this day, very like, whoa, it makes you feel half dirty yourself, even though you never did the crime, and I'm sure you do get what I mean. Like,
yeah.
But I never got to vent. So when a stranger does that to you or your family, you get to vent, you get that shit out. When it's your brother, your father, it's fucking hard, right? And no matter what, you lose them as well.
And you've got to
I lost a brother that day, and my sister's innocence and my innocence. It was a lot.
And in the same breath, you've got to try and make sense of that shit because it's also damaging to you.
Fucking massively.
That's the first strike towards your mental health, innit?
Massively. There was a lot of trauma before that, but that was the triggering point and change in my life.
And how old was you then?
16.
And how did your life spiral out of control from then?
From there, I quit. I didn't go. I used to work for my dad. So I just smashed my dad's house up, haven't I? I've left. I've not going to work for my dad anymore. And I went straight to crime. Joined a little, I wouldn't call it a gang. We were just boys who lived on the street. We were homeless. We lived in squats, crack dens, wherever we could. And we went out robbing. It started off burgling shops. We never robbed houses. We went out, we burgled shops, nicked all the cigarettes, stuff like that. And in the end, me being me, I was like, well, do you know what? If we just go in there in a day, we can get all of that and get the till and get the safe. Let's just do that. So it went to small-time robberies. I never, ever went in there with the intent of hurting anybody, but I realised in my later years, if I can stand there with a gun or a machete in my hand, I must have caused trauma. In the back of my mind, I was like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you, I promise you. But they don't know that. So I did fucking hundreds of them. And I got caught in the end, and I got 4 years. I was 19 years old. I got 4 years, and rightly so. I never had a qualm with anything. Anything I ever done, I never had a qualm with paying the price.
Right. So your first stint in jail was 4 years for
robbery.
For robbery.
Yeah.
Did you have any 𝐃𝐨𝐬𝐵s or was it just you?
I had 2 𝐃𝐨𝐬𝐵s. I did it with 2 lads. I never grasped, kept my mouth shut. They were the ones on the bike. I was one in the car. I got caught. So I did the time on my own, which is something you don't see much these days. So I'm telling you, grasping seems to be a fashionable thing, but it weren't when I was active. So I shut my mouth and I did me 4 on my own.
And what was the bird like, the first stint?
I started off in Chelmsford and then we went over, it was Blackball still when it was 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞𝐬, Young Offenders Institute, and I went to Portland. Fuck me.
Violent?
Oh, violent. There was no electric on the wing. If you pressed the bell, there's no buzzer. A little flag would just come down and just hang there until a screw saw it. It was a very violent place. And, you know, back then I had hair, I was skinny, I was a pretty boy. So I was a victim until I thought I had to fight. You had to fight to, you know, they weren't going to leave someone like me because I was big, I was tall. Everyone wanted to knock the tall guy out, so everyone to beat a big guy up. And I had this stupid hairdo and used to wear pig T-shirts and shit like that. I wasn't soft. So obviously it always went off because I didn't tolerate it.
But you look soft.
Definitely did, yeah. I had spiky little hair and, oh, mate, you know, I was baby-faced. I was 19 years old, baby-faced. But because I was tall, everyone wants to knock out at all. But I was skinny. But they still want to knock me out. And, yeah, I had a lot of violence in there.
And did that 4 years in jail, that violent stint, did it not put you off sort of going down that route?
It's amazing that, isn't it? You know, when I walked out the door after all the violence and all the time in that 4 years, I remember a screw saying to me, you'll be back. And I said, well, the fuck? I've had a terrible time in there. Will I fuck me back? And he said, you'll forget it. And I did. I forgot it. I forgot the pain. And I suppose I described that like pregnancy. When a woman gives birth, if she remembers that day or a few hours of absolute agony, she'll never give birth again. She forgets the pain. And I forgot the pain. And within 6 months, after trying to get jobs 9 to 5, I was active again. I was back out there.
Robbing again?
I kind of swerved the robbing. I went to dealing. I met a different group of lads and started hanging about with them when I was dealing.
Was you consuming as well?
Yeah, but at the time, it was small time. I was just having a tickle on a Friday. Saturday comes, well, go on then, we'll stretch it, we'll have a 2-dayer. Before you know, I was waking up Monday morning and fucking doing a line, you know, massive line and cracking on. And I started to isolate. I started to not, you know, when it started out, I was putting on the jeans and the shoes and we was going out and we was on the pole and we was having a laugh. It's fun. And anyone that's ended up with a drug problem, it had to have been fun at the start.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why the fuck would you have continued? So it was fun at the start, and before you know it, it wasn't fun.
You got a habit.
I got a habit. And I was extreme. I am an extreme person. Anything I do is extreme. I don't do mediocre. So where my mates might do 2 grams, have a good little dance, go home, shag a bird, boom, buzzing. Me, I'm spending everything I can get my hands on, and I'm 4 days deep. And I end up in a cold, fucking lonely, dark room. And it's not even that I'm trying to get any more higher, because that's probably impossible. But I look down and I think, I ain't fucking going down there, fuck that. So I just keep trying to keep it going until eventually, for me, I end up either in psychosis or just completely knocked out.
So how old were you when you first formed the drug habit?
When it got serious, it would have been around 22, 23.
22, 23. And then when did you get banged up the second time?
25.
Okay, so who's Gary Griffiths?
So Gary Griffiths, so when I was released from the 4-year, I told you I ended up being a drug dealer. Small time, no fucking Larry Large here. I was small time. I used to buy a couple of ounces, break it up into 8 balls and grams, and made a few quid. I did all right at start. Gary Griffiths was a client of mine. He used to come, he used to tick about 500 quid a week, and on a Friday he'd pay me. Now, Gary Griffiths looks the definition of an hard man. He's 6 foot, he's 18 stone, his nose across his face, he's got a bald head. I didn't look like that back then, not at all, nowhere near it. So to me, I never thought Gary Griffiths was a policeman. Gary Griffiths was ex-Scotland Yard kidnap elite unit policeman. He had just been sacked, which we never knew, for sniffing cocaine at Scotland Yard. This is all on Google. Gary Griffiths, Brad Donovan, you'll see it. So I remember noticing over the 6 months, maybe 12 months that I served Gary, first of all, he'd pull up in a 30 grand car. Over the time, in the end, he pulled up in about a 300 quid Fiesta. And that was drug addiction. And me and Gary ended up saying to me, can I join you on some of the bits that I know that you're doing? And I started robbing other dealers because I fucked up my own round. I fucked it up. I let people down. I'd end up sniffing all my gear. And I never had no drugs to sell. So I decided to rob the other dealers. So I used to go and take their stuff off them.
And at what stage did you find out that he was Old Bill?
Only when we'd been nicked. I was in the court cells. And I said, do us a favour, bring me Cody in. Bring him in, we'll have a chat. And she went, Brad, we're not putting him in here with you. I said, why not? He's my fucking mate. We're in together. And he went, you've not seen the paper. They put the paper under the door, Daily Mirror, and it said, ex-Scotland Yard kidnap elite unit arrested for robbing the bookies.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God.
Okay, so the second stint in jail was for robbing the bookies
And
chopping up a paedophile.
chopping up a paedophile who was a crack dealer as well.
So how did those two crimes collide?
Fucking hell, they had nothing to do with each other, Lee. At that time, I was walking about, I always had weapons on me and that, yeah, because I was robbing dealers. So obviously there was attacks coming back towards myself. So I always had I'm fucking ashamed to say some of this, right? They don't think there's ego here or I'm an hard man, because I'm not, and I don't think I am, but I'm just telling the story. I used to have a machete down my legs, a bit of CS gas here, knuckle dusters inside, and that's how I got about. So we did a robbery. Nothing to do with nothing. Me and Gary did a robbery. We took out money, probably both went and got
Was
high.
that gunpoint?
It was a fake gun. I think I had a fake gun, and Gary had the machete at the door. That was it. No one got hurt, and I think we didn't even get the safe. I think we ended up about fucking 400 quid. You know, we were both in the height of addiction. But 2 days later, I got the phone call. Now, if you remember what happened to my little sister, it's my sister again. But now she's 12 years old. And the phone call is, Brad, you need to come home, even though I was living in the East End. My mum lived in Essex. Come home, please. Something bad's happened. So I get home. I've got all these weapons on me, by the way. As I walk in, there's fucking police everywhere. I shit my pants. Yeah, but it weren't for me. They're doing forensics. 2 little 13-year-old girls are on the couch. One of them, 12, 13, are on the couch crying. One of them's my sister. And my mum said, blah, blah, from down there. I was going to say his name.
Has he been convicted for it?
No, he got not guilty. So I won't say his name then, right? He got not guilty. He went to court for it. He got convicted for other stuff. But anyway, so with that, the policeman come to me and he said, Brad, we're going to arrest Mr. fucking pedo. We're going to arrest him, but he's on tag, Brad. Now, I swear this to you. So for me, the policeman was saying, they knew who I was. Not that I was big time, but they knew I was a little bit of a scrapper. He said, we're going to arrest him at 10 o'clock. He's on tag. So we're going to arrest him. He lives 9 doors down from my mother. We're going to arrest him. Brad, you're not going to do anything, are you? I went, of course I'm not. Of course I wouldn't do that. It's up to you boys, right? So bang. So it's about 8:30. They took the 2 little girls. They took all the parents with them, and there's the girl's dad standing there. The girl's dad said to me, I'm coming with you. I'm coming with you. He was a little bulldog sort of geezer, one of them ones with a Union Jack on his forearm. And I said to him, look, mate, I'm being honest with you now. I don't know you from Adam, and I understand you're really upset too, because bear in mind his stepdaughter's just been abused. There's 2 little girls have been abused by this crack-dealing bastard up the road, right? But I said, I'm going to tell you something now. Look, I'm going with this. This is what I'm doing. And you don't need to be a part of that. I'm not going to give him a slap. I could have beat him up, Lee. Some people say, why you just bash him up and that? Because it weren't about that. It's not about now I fight and I want to win a trophy and a belt. This was about I want to fucking maim you. You're not walking properly again. You have just fucking sexually violated my little baby. She's already had that done before and I couldn't do nothing about it. But this time I'm going to fucking do something about it. So I tried to tell this man not to come with me. I tried to protect him. He's like, that's my daughter, you don't fucking tell me, bro. I said, all right, sweet, let's go, Mum. I don't think he thought, because as I say, I used to wear pink T-shirts, Gucci shoes, my hair all like that. I was a bit of an Essex boy, even though I lived in the East End, going faces and all that bollocks, yeah? And I don't think he believed I was going to do what I did. So when we knocked on the door, He opened. Obviously he did. He was on tag. So he's open. He went, Brad, about all this. And we said, let's go in, Stephen. I couldn't believe he opened the fucking door. I couldn't believe he let me in. And his bird was there. It was like a studio flat, Liam. So as I've gone walking through, I've seen her. I said, you, come here as well, love, because I thought, I don't want her running out of a knife or a fucking hot pan of fat and throw it at me. I sat her down, and I've no doubt traumatized her by this. And I'm fucking really sorry if this girl's ever watching. I'm really sorry to you. But you was with a piece of shit, crack-dealing paedophile fucker, so there was consequences to that. With that, the other guy, the dad, has headbutted him. He's landed on the bed. When he's landed on the bed, I took my jacket off. Do you remember that film, Gangster #1?
Yeah.
Now, I was 25 at this time, and I used to watch these films all the time like a fucking idiot. And the way he folded up all his clothes before he did what he did, that's what I did. I imitated it. Like, fucking not, something not right with me there. I knew I was going away. I knew this was it, and I thought, I'm going to make it, in my eyes, at that time, 25-year-old man, I'm 42 now, spectacularly violent and vicious, and it will be spoke about around here for a while. So I folded up my jacket, I folded up my T-shirt, took it off, folded it up, pulled the chopper out, and I just started absolutely chopping his legs and his feet. And he weren't screaming, Liam. I swear to God, he didn't scream, and I don't remember seeing blood. This is crazy. This is like maybe like euphoria or just being caught up in the moment. I didn't see any blood. I said, roll him over, because he was getting punched and he was getting done. He was on his front. And when that, Chris, his name was, he rolled him over and I put the blade down on his face and I cut his face. And with that, he screamed and he went, it's a fucking blade. So he didn't realise. He didn't see the chopper. He's just felt fud, 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 fud. He's not realised he's being chopped. So this is a bit graphic, this part. So as he gets off the bed, he stands up, sits up like this, and he goes to run out the door. But I have really chopped at his ankles and his feet. And as he's gone to run, his foot's literally just gone click. It's just gone. It's fucking hanging on by about ½ inch of flesh. So that was when I put the blade to his stomach all the way down and I pulled it all the way up and I said, that's what you get for fucking trying to rape little girls, you cunt. Somehow, Liam, he got out of that gaff. I don't know, and I'm glad he did, because I didn't go there to kill him. I didn't. Yeah, but I hadn't finished. I don't know where I was going with this. And I turned to the girl and I said, that's what happens to paedophiles. And I walked out the door. He got nicked, Chris. I didn't. I fucked off. I went on a party somewhere, me on a bender. No doubt. I went on a bender with my bird and whatever. And then I got a phone call off his wife saying, Brad, he's in jail. And he's a 9 to 5 man, Brad. He's, Chris, blah, blah, blah. Brad, would you hand yourself into it and go and look after him? And I swear to God, I fucking handed myself in. And do you know who grasped me up? Him.
Really?
He was the grass. I didn't know that. So I've handed myself in, went into Pentonville. Gary's not with me yet. Gary's not with me. When I come back out for the other thing, that's when I go to court and then I meet Gary again. I don't know I'm done for armed robbery at this point. So I hand myself in and I say to the policeman, is this for the nonce? And to be fair, and I'm not a massive fan of the police, especially what I've seen lately, fucking two-tier Britain, but they were good to me. They knew who he was. They knew him. He was a crack dealer. This is not just an allegation of paedophilia. He was also gone down and he was convicted of this. He battered an old man on a train, stamped all over him. And this old man shit himself, literally shit himself. And the old man's phone started ringing. And that's what this guy was trying to rob. And he answered his phone. It was his wife. And he went down the phone. Yeah, your husband's here. He's just laying there full of his own piss and blood and shit. So he was a horrible man. The police did not like him. And although I wasn't exactly their favourite person, they were glad that at least the good of two evils had come out triumphant and fucked this horrible bastard up. But as I say, he got not guilty. So do I regret doing what I did? Not really, because the law didn't do fuck all about it. They believed this piece of shit over 2 13-year-old girls. It just blows my mind, that.
It's off on the way.
Just can't believe that, can you? These girls have done nothing wrong. 2 of them. And there's 2 of them as well. Could you get one girl maybe tell a lie? 2 at the same time? Fucking hell, against a crack dealing, convicted piece of shit who batters old people who sells drugs around the neighbourhood. Fuck me, it blew my mind. So
what was your jail sentence for?
So I got 3.5 years in the end for me and Gary. The reason I got 3.5, because I only got 4, was 19 for robbery. So how did that go down? It went down because they give Gary 3.5. So then I had to wait 18 months for my trial. But believe it or not, I went not guilty to the chopping, even though my fingerprints are on the machete. My co-defendant says it's me. The girl said it was me. You know, one of the buzzing things about the way the girl said it was me, she went, can you describe him? She went, Can't really describe him, but he was really good looking. And I was always made up with that. How mental is your brain? You know you're going away, you're looking at life, but you made up that the victim's missus said you were good looking. That's fucking insane, right?
For the record, are you a psychopath?
No, am I bollocks? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Like, that man deserved to be hurt. And
I fully agree.
Thank you. And listen.
But most people wouldn't have the mindset to do what you've done.
No, I get a lot
of people would say they would do that, but when push comes to shove, they actually wouldn't.
I've heard it all my life, Lee. Since people knew what I did, I'd fucking do the same. And I think maybe you would, but my advice to people is, and this is going to fucking blow your mind, because what I would say is, don't do that. Because what happened was, my little girl, my little sister, she had no dad, she had me. And I went the fucking best man, obviously doing what I was doing, but I looked after her, she's my baby. So what happened to her? I went to fucking prison and left her on her own. So it didn't do her no good. Me doing what I didn't do her no good. So if I could go back in time and at least wear a fucking balaclava and have a chance of getting away with it. But, yeah, so that's where you're at in this world. Someone stabbed the Yorkshire Ripper right in his fucking eye. Now you'd think not a jury in the land will convict that man. They did, he got 10 years. So I went not guilty on the same basis thinking, come on, like, you're not going to convict me. And they convicted me, yeah. I mean, all the evidence says it was me.
Yeah.
But I just thought that 9 people out of 12 would go, fucking convicted him of that. He's done an absolute wrong. But they don't give a shit, mate. They don't give a shit.
And what sentence did you get for that?
So I got 7 for that on top to run consec. So I got 10.5 years. And I'll tell you now, I jumped up in the dock absolutely buzzing. And people said, what do you fucking mean? There was a sentence around at the time called the IPP.
Yeah.
In protection in the public, yeah? Which meant they could give you 5 years and you could do 50. There's people in there now still doing it. So I was looking at that. I'd already done an armed robbery. I'm now up for another armed robbery, and I'm now up for fucking chopping this geezer up. So I'm a danger to society. Prosecution stood up and they said, we want Brad Donovan to be given the IPP life. Yeah. And I wrote the judge a letter. She was female, the judge, and I said, Judge, I accept I've done all these things. I said, but if you look at my robberies, I've never hurt a soul, and I never did. There was actually an article written about me many years ago saying the politest armed robber in the East End, because I used to always say, please and thank you, and don't worry, you're not going to get hurt, you're all right. That was my demeanour but I somehow thought I was a good guy. Like as if I was fucking Robin Hood or nothing, but I weren't Robin Hood. I didn't give to the poor, I give to me, my nose, and the boys, you know, but it's crazy the way you somehow justify the way you are at that time. So when I tell some of these stories today, please don't think that's the man I am today, or that I condone it, or that I glamorise it, because I don't, and you really don't want to live that life. Because it's fucking chaos and it always ends in blood and tears.
Well, I asked you on because I know that that's your ethos, that you're not glamorising what you've done, but you can't rewrite history. You're just telling it exactly how it is. And I've done my homework, I've seen the receipts, so I know that every word you're saying is gospel. Your prison sentence after that was very different from the first 4 years. So this is all documented.
Yeah.
If you Google it, you had an incident in Belmarsh with the 7-7 bombers. Tell me the full story in graphic detail from start to finish.
Okay, so first of all, I started in Pentonville. I got with Gary. Gary was a policeman, blah, blah, blah. It was a big unit, so I left him alone. It's amazing how everyone said, I'm going to fucking smash the copper up, they come in this jail. No one touched Gary. He was 18 stone muscle and he could box. I got moved away, put me in the ACAT system, Belmarsh. Just simply because I went to a different court, Basildon, and that meant that you went Belmarsh. So I'm there in Belmarsh. I was about 12 months in. Things were all right. And on the incident day, it was Remembrance Day. Now, Belmarsh prison is different to a lot of other prisons. The screws there are ex-soldiers, because they put the burly fucking ex-soldiers in there because they know the clientele's different in Belmarsh than it is in other prisons. So they are very patriotic, right? I'm not a Queen and Country kind of guy, but I'm also, you know, I'm a guy that if I'm your friend, I'm your friend. My friend was a Queen and Country guy. I was actually on the phone at my bird at the time. And the 2-minute silence has started. I put the phone down. I'm doing the bit. And my mate, the Muslims, the 7-7 bombers, the one that people don't know, they blew the boss up on that, didn't they, Lee? Was it about 57 people that died? They was on my wing, and no one said a fucking word to them. This is the craziness. It don't matter if you're Muslim, black, yellow, pink, they fucking blew up 57 people. They were innocent people, and no one gave a fuck, no one said a word. Including me. including myself, because it's designed, it's all against you. They run the jails. I'll explain that after. So my pal, Danny Phillips, goes over and says, "Oi, boys, can you stop playing table tennis? It's fucking 2 minute silence." They've obviously told him to fuck off.
Oh, I see.
This is how it starts.
So during the 2 minute silence, the 7-7 bombers are playing table tennis.
Ping pong, right?
Okay.
Danny, the little bulldog, English, he loves Queen and Country. He's over there having a go at them. Anyway, we've got banged up. I've said to Danny, he was my cellmate. So I said to Danny, listen, he's only in for slapping his bird. So he was doing like 3 or 4 months, Danny. Oh, it's life-changing what happens. So from that, I said, Dan, in the morning, you need to stay right next to me, right? Because they're not having that. They're not fucking having that. The way he called them and everything, you know what I mean? He's gone mental. In the mornings, I do what I always do, straight down, have a phone call with the bird. Danny's fucking not listening. He's fucked off. Bang. Now, in Belmarsh, you have your staircase going up the middle and you've got your cells left and right. Danny, as he got to the stairs, bang, one come out of there with a kettle, bosh, done him with a kettle all over his face, sugar in it. The other one's come out of a jar, glass jar, smashed up in a sock. So he's whacking him with a sock, but it's glass jar, so he's jagged, his fucking face a mess. I come running, I scream, I can't, screws in there, everyone, I'm trying to get to these Muslims, and I'm calling them rotten. So now I'm involved in this beef. Nothing happens, I can't get to them, they can't get to me, but we now know it's on. The screws come take Danny away. He's a fucking mess. I'll never forget the way he looked at me. Traumatic, face burnt all down this side, face hanging off this side. And I looked at him and I was fucking hell done. And he went, Brad, look at me face. And he went, oh, it was awful. I've gone back to my cell. We got banged up and they said, do you want us to take you down to the VPs, Brad? I said, what? The nonces wing. Bear in mind what I'm in for. Yeah? I fucking cut nonces, right? That's what I do. So you want to send me to the nonces? I said, what are you on about? And they were being nice to me, the screws. They were being, I said, listen, we agree in what's just happened. And we know, you know, that what they're doing that. But Brad, you know and I know they're going to come for you. At that time, Lee, I didn't understand fully enough that the Muslims, they run our prisons, our ACAT system, fully run it. Yeah, I didn't get it. I thought, I've been in jail before, I've done a 4 before, I can have a fight. Fuck it, whatever I do. It don't work like that. But anyway, I said no. I refuse protection. The next day comes, and when you read the story, you'll see it. What was that word I said to you the other day? Googleable.
Googleable.
Googleable. It's all on there. I'm the Tuesday guy. So, and I'll never forget this, all the white boys are with me, you know, and some of them were racist. I ain't racist, me, Lee. My sister's mixed race. So that's the little girl I keep telling you about. She's mixed race. I ain't got a fucking racist bone in my body. So we're walking down, and I've got these white boys. Some of them are racist, some of them are not. We're fucking with you, don't worry. We're with you, we're with you. And as I turned the corner, they were there. That's what I fucking knew they would be.
How many of them?
About 6 or 7. 3 on that wall, 4 on that wall. I just remember some of them had their legs up. They weren't saying nothing to me. They wanted me to walk through. And I thought, I've got an option now. I'm going to be honest. I shit my pants. I thought, turn and run. Just turn and run, Brad. Fuck it. Run to the screws. But there's another voice in you that says, you can't live with yourself if you do that. And no one, you can't be you, Brad. You can't do that. You've got to go forward. And that has stood with me all my life. And that's what I do to this day. We'll get to that later. So I carry on walking, and I swear to God, every 5 steps I took, one white boy disappeared. And by the time I got there, Liam, I was on my own. I was on my own. And they've jumped me, bosh, bosh, bosh. But you know when 7 people try and get one? I know you was dormant back in the day, so you'd understand. It's not much they can kind of do because they're all fucking hitting each other, and I'm fighting away. And I love the part in the story that says, and they ended up with cuts and bruises. It was a failed attack. And I remember, though, turning as I'm ducking and weaving, trying to not get hurt, looking at the white boys going, you're a fucking disgrace. And then I get a left hook, and I turn and I start fighting with him, and I just go, you make me. And that was the day I was just so disheartened, and I realised we're fucked. We're on our way out as a nation. Because as much as the distaste in my mouth for what was happening, I also had respect that they stood together. Because they didn't come just to beat me, 7 guys. They come to fight the other guys as well. And they were standing, they stood together, win, lose or draw. My fucking team fell apart before we even got there. And that is where I just don't think we're united anymore.
Did things escalate after that?
Yeah, definitely escalated. The governor fucked me over. So the governor's either got to face the problem that he has a Muslim problem in his jail system. They are converting white boys left, right and centre through fear. They're converting them for other reasons as well, but mainly fear. You've got a lot of broken boys in the system as well. They want families, they want father figures. And, you know, the Muslim community, the good side of it, they offer that. And it's fucking great. I've never seen, you know, when the white boy comes to jail, the other white boys just go, all right, When another Muslim comes to jail, the Muslims are straight away, do you want food, brother? Do you want... So it is fucking lovable, some parts of it. And you can understand why. And also, if you've got beef in the system, if you join the Brotherhood, you ain't got no beef anymore. Because you got a massive firm. So it escalated for me. The governor went, Brad Donovan's the problem. He accused me of starting a race war in the Belmar system. It says on the story, sources are simmering now, tensions are flaring. So they moved me to Full Sutton. Didn't move any of them. 7 bombers killed 57 people. Me, I'm in for cutting the nonce. I get moved, always fucking me. So I go on the bus, cat suit, everything, chains on like I'm Hannibal Lecter. And when I got to Full Sutton that day, I realised I was in a different level of prison. Anyone that understands prison knows about the dispersal system. There's only 5 of them in the country. They are the double A's. They are the worst prisons in this country. And that's where the governor sent me. Bear in mind, I only had 3.5, 4 years left. I shouldn't have been there. It was like people doing natural life. They're never coming out. I got there. The day I got there, a man had just been killed in his cell. Just been killed. Had his belly ripped and bowels pulled out. And I remember going, oh my fucking God. So I had a hit on me. I've now got a hit on me. And it doesn't go.
From the Islamists?
Yeah.
So a fatwa?
Yeah, a fatwa, yeah. To get me. Now, whether that meant death or just cut fuck out of him, there was another thing they do. They were known for it. It's called 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐤. So when you're in the ACAT system, because you're never coming out, most of you, like I shouldn't have been there. They'd look at me and laugh, go, what are you doing, Brad? Shit, shaving a shower. That's how my 10-year sentence appeared in there, because the sentences are so high. So they let you cook your own food. It's their way of giving you a little something, because without little somethings, then people don't give a fuck. They've got nothing to live for. So it makes the screws a little bit more safer if you give them. So we're allowed to cook our own food. But the Muslim boys were known for it. They would have a pot this fucking big, which most of us would just roast, cook our boil our potatoes and whatnot. They would put the Indian oil in it, ghee, marmalade, fucking all sorts. And when you'd be sat down somewhere, they would come behind you and fucking pour it over your head. Now, I've done the sugar in the water in the kettle. It does not compare. Your ears literally slide down your face. You don't recover from that. Your face is melted. It's horrendous. The scream that you will hear. So I was very, very fucking aware that I had a fatwa on me, and at bare minimum, they want to destroy my face. So I had about 18 months of that. I got moved from Full Sutton to Franklin. Franklin was known to have guys like Kevin Lane, Andy Shack there, really, really tough English boys who helped keep that stuff at bay in Franklin prison. So when I got there, I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I'll have a straightener with any of them. A straightener. There was no straightener to resolve this problem. So I went to Kevin Lane, Andy Shack. They were like, they never ever called themselves the daddies, but they were the top boys in the jail system. You can mention that to anybody that's ever been in the ACAT system. Andy Shack, Kev Lane. And I went to both of them. I said, what do I do? And they were like, just stick around me, look after you. And they did. And I ended up in Garth Prison, BCAT system, Preston. And that's where the Muslim control is not there. So they have it fully when I was there in the ACATs. So if you can get to B and C, doesn't mean there's not Muslims there, doesn't mean that there's not, that kind of the violence, but they don't have full control. When I was there, I don't know where it is now.
Right.
I presume it fucking is there now because it was spreading like wildfire. It was spreading like wildfire, massively. I had a tattoo here, and I hadn't done it in prison. I've had it covered since this shit. But it said, lonely are the brave. And it was because all the white boys around me, even the blacks, everybody, were converted. Why would you not? You're getting looked after. You've got protection. No one can fucking touch you. But I had a tattoo that said, lonely are the brave, because I was like, I won't do that. I don't believe in your faith. So I'm not going to fucking join it. That's that. And there was a lot of pressure to join it.
Was there any ordinary Muslims that would push back against the radical Islamists? Would there ever be any clashes amongst their own?
I never saw that. Now, I saw a lot of good Muslims. This is not me on here saying fucking Muslims this, Muslim that. I'm talking about 7 bombers, and if you condone their behaviour with you and you're a Muslim, then fuck you too. That's what I say, because they kill people, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're English and you fucking done it, I'll say you're a rat. If you're Christian, I'll say you're a rat. You're a rat, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I always say, I never see the pushback. Yeah, there was good guys, they didn't get involved. But if that was me and my brothers were going around fucking doing shit like that, I'd say, what are you doing? You fucking rat. Stop behaving like that. And if you do, you don't behave like that around me. We would say that, right?
100%.
But I never saw that. I only saw, we're not involved, Brad. And I'm thinking, that's not fucking good enough. Like, go and fucking tell them to stop doing this. But no, I never saw it. I saw good Muslims, but I never saw them push back against the bad ones.
Yeah, this is a lot of people's problems, that you don't see enough of that. Well, I've not seen a great deal of it at all, and to hear it from the horse's mouth in the jail system that Islamists are running it, and what are supposed to be moderates aren't pushing back on it.
No.
Okay, so you push back on your own. For example, you went on a big violent spree in jail attacking paedophiles.
Attacking paedophiles, yeah. So I was known for that. Obviously, you know, when that happened to my little sister, something, and no one likes a fucking nonce, do they? So, and I was an angry man. I was a very angry man with the life I had led. So, yeah, I mean, the first time I done one, I was in Chelmsford prison, and I was 19 years old, and Lee White, he was the daddy of the wing. He was only little. He had fucking half a tooth missing there. He was funny as fuck, Lee, from Southend. And it was my responsibility because the paedophile was in my cell. So he was my bunkie. I didn't even know. And he went, see him? Broke a 4-year-old girl's arm. You got to fucking deal with that. And I was like, righto. And in my mind, I thought, he was a big fucker. He was a big fucker. And I thought, I'm not going to take him on in the cell here, because if I take him on in the cell here and I get done, there's no one to fucking help me. There's the screws ain't going to stop it. No one. And I also thought, kill two birds with one stone. Let me do it on the wing. And again, make it spectacular so that people go, leave him alone. Because I was a pretty boy, right? So that's what I did. We used to have the furnaces on the wing where you'd make your hot water. And I remember going to the furnace, getting the hot water. We was out on association, which is where you get to play a bit of pool, use the phone, have a shower. And every time I try and find him, the water's got a bit lukewarm, so I'd fucking have to go back, refill it. And in the end, I caught him. I can't remember what his name was. Just say John. And I said, John, as it turned out, I'd done him with the water and then I laid into him. But I ended up slipping on the floor and right on my arse because all the water went on the floor. But lucky for me, I'd done a bit of damage before then and he ran. But before he ran, all the screws come. And obviously I'm just smashing, and I've ended up punching a bird in the face, one of the female officers, which I didn't mean. But she got me out of the block 2 days later. They were trying to press charges on me for assaulting the female staff and all that. And she went, because she knew what he had done to the 4-year-old, she got me out of the block within 48 hours, which is the punishment cells. And she went, fucking my bad, I wouldn't do that to you, not after what he's done. So there is good, you know what I mean? There's good police, there's bad police, there's good screws, there's bad screws.
And she knew it was an accident?
Yeah, I was punching him and I just about 7 screws just come everywhere.
Got caught in the crossfire?
Yeah, there was no reason to punch her. There was no reason to punch her, but yeah, she got caught in the crossfire.
And how many other nonces have you dealt with like that?
It's fucking hard saying, isn't it? But I done a few, and I used to burn them. I used to do it with a kettle. In prison, they started giving us pressure. So that was early on, their furnace, but then in the end, they'd give us kettles. So we never had furnaces anymore, we had a kettle. So you could literally just boil your kettle and then just walk out and just go crash. So I did that to a few. But I always made sure, and you say, oh, how'd you know it was a paedophile? Well, because we have fucking Google, right? You say, well, you don't have Google in prison. Well, I do. I ring my bird and go, can you Google Liam Tuffs? And it will just come up what you are, what you're in for. So we knew. So it wasn't just winging it. I don't agree in, you know, you got to be careful because screws will tell you that Danny's a nonce because Danny spat at them. So now they want to get Danny done. So you can't just act like that. You must do your homework before you go and hurt somebody.
Okay, so there's screws in there that will pull strings like that.
100%. If you punch a screw in the mouth, and he can't just walk back in your cell and do you. He will sprout shit about you. He'll lie about your paperwork. So yeah, you've got to be careful. So I don't condone what I did. The violence, the viciousness. I wish that wasn't in me. I remember my dad saying to me, he went, son, I read the paper today about a man attacking another man with a machete. And it was a paedophile that this man had attacked. And as I'm reading the story, son, I was cheering on the man with the machete until I realised it was you. And he said, to know that my son was so capable of such extreme violence broke my heart. And I remember getting that letter in prison and crying like a baby because I disappointed my dad. All the boys would be like, yes, Brad, him for fucking doing a nonce. Yes, Brad. But my dad was heartbroken. And he also knew I just lost 10 years of my life again.
Did you ever get any outside charges? Did you get an extension on your sentence because of...
Nah, Lee. So this is something that's been happening like the last 10, 15 years, isn't it, really? So when I was there, it was right at the end, like, there was outside charges, but the screws didn't really push it too much, unless you fucking murdered somebody and really cut them up and opened them up bad. Me, most of the time, I threw a kettle on them and back in my fucking right-hander. And I would always do it somewhere where we weren't on camera.
What about your mental health in there? Did you ever get sectioned?
I didn't get sectioned, no, but they put me in the punishment cells for about 7 weeks once. And fucking hell. Anyone that knows me knows, they always say to me, Brad, you hate your own company. Put me in a cell for 7 weeks, just to be bed. And that was in Portland prison. I was only 19 years old. It was fucking freezing. They had a window. You couldn't open or shut it, but it had bullet holes in it to let air in. So you can imagine how cold it is in Dorset. And they wouldn't let you get in bed. So the only thing you got is a bed and a toilet. They wouldn't let you go in bed. It was like, look through the door. So you get off the fucking bed as you get another week. So you just stand there and freeze your bollocks off. So I remember my mind had gone that much. I didn't want to die. But as a bit of I wanted out of there. I slit all my wrists and I pissed blood all over the cell and they had to get me and then take me to hospital. Of which I remember getting back. And this is how my mental health must have gone. My hands barely worked. And I still had a wank. And you think, how insane is that? You've just cut fucking through ligaments or tendons that literally wouldn't work. And they still kept me in the block. Still did another week in the block. Just like that, bandaged up. Now I look a prick in front of all the other prisoners because they think I'm suicidal.
And you now know why I asked you previously if you was a psychopath.
When I tell the stories, I said to one of my good friends, I'm really good friends with my ex, and I said to her, how do I tell these stories, Linz? How do I tell these stories without looking like a prick? Because I said to her, I've watched your podcast and loads of other podcasts, and I know some of the guys on them. And I'm like, he's telling the truth there. There was 5 lads, and he did bash them. 2 did run. But how do you tell that story without looking like a prick? It's a hard one, isn't it?
Well, I've asked you to come on to tell these stories, so it's not like you were banging my door down, desperate for the world to hear. I've asked because I've never... Yours is one of the wildest life stories I've ever come across. I mean, we're just scratching the surface, and I'm sure there'll be more to find out because I put all your social links in our description. So when you get released from jail... Oh, actually, before we talk about your release and that journey, did you have the whole trans madness going on in jail whilst you were there? Was there any men...
There was one.
Identifying as women?
There was one. I never met him, her, whatever, but they were allowed pink pyjamas. They had a bra and stuff like that. There was on another wing, and it was always the talk of the jail. And I never, ever got to meet him, or it was a fucking him, but he called himself Sandra or whatever. And it was tolerated, but it was still very frowned upon. When you hear about gays in prison, and I've got no problem with gays at all, fucking do what you want, you're an adult, fucking shag who you like. If it's legal, it's not animals or children, right? But people think jail is a gay place where you fucking men. It's not true. There'll always be gay men. If you get 100 men in this room or in a club, there'll be some of them be gay. Same in prison. But it is not a gay environment. It's not a gay environment. So it's a fucking alpha male environment.
Cool, very much so. I think life has sort of become affectionate. I've actually had this chat with 𝐾𝐸. It's like when you've been in jail for decades and like we need affection. At what stage do you think I'm going to...
Well, I was there many years, Lee, and I've heard all gay for stay or some shit like, well, you're gay while you're in jail. Bullshit. For me, if you can stick your dick in another man's arse, you're gay. I was there, on and off, I spent just under 9 years in the system, and I never touched another geezer. And I was offered, I was offered. I remember there was a little chubby blonde boy, he must have been 22, 23, and he was always fucking on me, but he was nice. I didn't beat him up, I didn't take offence to it. I were flattered, but I was like, fuck off, that's never going to happen, mate, it's not my bag.
Well, a question that will tie in with your, with the horrendous experiences you've gone through is, and I don't think many people would have even heard about the trans age conspiracy. Just wondered what your thoughts on that would be.
I think the moment you start accepting transgender, that a man can just say he's a woman and be allowed to use the public toilets to share them with a 6-year-old girl. He's now in the same facility as a 6-year-old girl. The moment you legalise that, which I think we are there, the moment that's legal, the moment that's accepted and we're so tolerant, they keep using the word tolerant, be tolerant, where do you go with that? Because there's always another step, right? The next step for me is a thing called trans age. And people say, fuck off, you're talking shit. Trans age is where a 42-year-old man like myself can identify as a 12-year-old boy. Now, if that's legally accepted, then that means I can legally sleep with children. And that is where I believe they want to go. People are going, but how can you be 12-year-old, Brad? Biologically, you're not. And biologically, Dave's not got a fucking vagina, has he? But yet you're going to allow him to say he has, and you're going to allow him to be treated as he is. So why can a man at 42 not pretend he's 12 and be allowed to sleep with children? This is where does it stop? Where is the line? I haven't seen any line. All I've seen is decade after decade it go further and further and further. Until now, as a Christian, I'm no longer a Christian. I believe in God. I pray every day. I pop to the church, but I don't believe in Christianity anymore. And the reason I don't believe in it anymore... This is nothing against gays before you all fucking jump on and you troll bastards, yeah? This is against Christianity being that weak that it allowed its values and principles to change. It says, We're not accepting that. It says to me, we're not accepting you, Brad, doing robberies. We're not accepting you, Brad, doing all this shit. We love you still, but that behaviour is not a part of Christian values.
You've got to change.
Got to change it. We still love you. God loves you, right? And God loves you gay or not. He doesn't give a fuck. He loves you. But he doesn't condone this behaviour. And to be a Christian, you are aiming to be better. So when you now got gay vicars, I just think, how the fuck have you changed a book that was apparently written 2,000 years ago? You just changed it, what, under pressure? You're that weak? Because I tell you now, you got to try and change the Quran. And that's why I have to give them respect, Liam. I have to give that part respect that they'll go, we're not fucking changing nothing. And you can't look at Christianity. It's been bended, it's been moulded, it's been changed. Nothing is against God anymore.
Yeah, the church is weak.
The church is weak.
Embarrassingly so.
Embarrassing. So,
and we need it stronger than ever now because we're being taken over.
Well, have a look at the country, have a look at the world. Has it got better? Well, since we took God out of the equation, has it got better?
No.
Fuck.
No, well, there's no roadmap for people that need it now.
No.
But let's go back to when you got released, because when you got released from jail, being
on
known...
the 10 one, yeah.
On the long one, where did they put you after that? Halfway home?
So... absolute craziness as well. So my mum was ill at that time with COPD, so I couldn't go and live with my mum. My father didn't want me to come and live with him, and I do not blame him one bit. Fucking hell, he's a normal man, my dad, and I was, crazy at some point, So he's like, fuck that, you ain't come live with me. So you normally then go to a hostel. But my number one crime was attacking sex offenders. Sex offenders are housed in hostels. So literally, my probation from London put me on a video link and went, Brad, you're released in 4 weeks' time. I said, yeah, I know, I've got nowhere to go. I'm going to have to go hostel. And she was like, I can't let you go to a hostel. So she released me homeless because I'm known to attack sex offenders. So basically, sex offenders get beds over people that hurt sex offenders. And that's where the fucking world's gone mental. Absolutely mental.
Yeah.
So I then had to... I did have a drug problem, as we know, and I still have. I'm an addict, me, Liam. So a lovely lady called Jane, she worked in the prison system. She was like my personal officer. I ended up shagging Jane when I come out of prison, but we're not talking about that right now. She's a lovely girl. So she said to me, listen, you're homeless, you got fuck all. What we're going to do, we need to play on your drug addiction, Brad. So she got me into the Wirral rehab. Big mansion of a fucking place here. It's a massive mansion. And at the time, I was the fittest man in prison. I was one of the fittest. Kev Lane, I know you were number one. But I was up there. I was really, really fit. I used to do all my fitness, all my training. I used to teach the boys Insanity on the wing. The governor had let me do things like that. I was that known for it. But I had to go. I'd been 5 years clean. I hadn't touched a drug in prison.
So you weren't in active addiction at the time?
No, but I still was an addict, right? But at 5 years I haven't used. Cocaine is my drug of choice. And it's not really a prison drug, is it? You're not going to fuck... It's not really available. It wasn't. It was other shit that was available. More like smack and codeine and spice just come into play. But it weren't cocaine. Every now and then the boys would get a little bit. But I'm not that guy. I'm not like, we've got a gram, let's have 2 lines each. I'm like, I wouldn't even bother that. I'm not going to start.
So you couldn't go in the hostel because there's sex offenders there, so they've put you in rehab.
So I went into the rehab, yeah. And from there, I ended up meeting a lady on... My dad said to me, Keys, because I come out of jail, ripped to death, winning, a fat little fucker. I ate Jaffa cakes in jail for 4.5 years, walked around smoking roll-ups, fat little fucker I was. And then, because I fancied Jane, I went, I'm going to get her. She went to me one day, she went, if you lost a bit of weight and got yourself ripped up, you'd be a stunner, you. I said, fucking right, I got on that treadmill. And I got what I wanted off Jane in the end, and then I just stuck with it.
Is Jane going to be okay with this story?
Yeah, it's not a real name.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you are listening, thank you very much.
Tarzan sends his love.
Yeah. Yeah, she made the last 12 months very, very doable.
Got you over the line.
Yeah, she definitely got me over the line.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
So you're in this rehab centre now?
I'm in the rehab centre, and being me, I'm trying to train all these people, and... my heart bled for so many of them, Liam, because before that, even though I was an addict, I didn't know I was an addict. No. I just thought I'm just cocaine. I wear Gucci, mate. How can I be an addict? Yeah, I drive a nice car. I'm not a fucking addict. I was an addict. I was no different to them. So, but I'll tell you, the worst one is alcohol. I saw people come off heroin when I was there. I was there 3 months, and I saw... You see someone come off alcohol, they do a detox, it's fucking awful.
Heavy withdrawal.
Wow. Shakes, sweats, it's awful, psychosis, the lot. But I really became pally with him, and I did 3 months there, and then moved me to like a halfway house. And that was where I got my freedom. And that was where I got on Tinder. I'll never forget, my dad said, get your top off on there, get on this Tinder. I never knew what the fuck Tinder was when I went away. We had Nokia 3210s. There was none of that. So I got my top off, and I met I was going on there for a shag, wasn't I? And I met a God-fearing lady. It took me about 4 weeks to shag her. I had to take her out several times and try and do that on a budget. I had fuck all when I left prison. No money at all. No family, no nothing. I was 400 miles away from home.
Did you fall for her, though?
Nah, not really.
No.
But I hadn't had any affection, any love or anything, probably for my whole of my life, but definitely hadn't even had affection for the last 5.5, 6 years.
That's why I wondered maybe you'd fall for the first.
No, I've always got all the time in the world for her. She's a great girl. She did nothing but good for me in my life, but she wasn't the love of my life. I only really ever really loved one.
Give her a shout out.
Andrea Wood, you're an absolute fabulous lady, and you were right to fuck me off. She were right, you know.
Yeah, I'll give you that. You're accountable. How did you survive? Because you've slipped in and out of addiction since your release, didn't you?
So when I was released early, so I did 5 years clean in prison and I did 5 years clean outside of prison.
So that's 10 years clean in total?
10 years clean. So and that's when the choice is on me, you know. I knew all the dealers and where I'd located. But I built a gym. I built an absolute mega gym, 14,000 square foot, called the Strength and Fitness Lab. I built that.
Where was this?
In Wigan. Where I lived. So when me and Andrew split up, I carried on with training people. That's what I did. I thought, I'll help them. I'll do that's the only thing I know. Sell drugs or do that. And I didn't want to do that because I was shit at selling drugs anyway. I used to sniff more than I sold. So I thought, I know how to train. I transformed my own body. I'll help you transform. And I became really good at it. I built a massive gym, massive membership, and I did well. So from there, the drugs came in with COVID. When they shut my gym, they took away my purpose. So I never entertained drugs. Plus I was with a woman who didn't touch drugs. All the women in my life didn't touch drugs. So when you live with these women and you're in their house and you've got a job as a gym instructor or you own the gym, that really kept me clean. The moment COVID came, I went, I've not got a reason to get up in the morning. I've got no fucking reason. And then I'm hanging about with different people. And then the bird at the time that I had at the time, she did a bit of coke. So it just all fell in place. And I had money. You know, I got all these bounce back loans through the gym and I just sold a few shares to a couple of boys. So I had fucking loads of money under my bed. I just bought my own little house. And bosh, I went straight back to that life. And I think the gym was shut on and off for about 12 months.
And did you literally return straight to the huge addict you was?
No. It took a couple of years, to be honest, Lee. So I would go...
You thought you had it under wraps?
Yeah, I'd do a bender. Me and the ex-wife at the time, I'd go on a bender a day. Over the year, become 2 days. But then you'll go and do 2 months, 3 months clean. So shit, what the fuck was I doing there? Fuck, sort yourself out, Brad. Before you know it, it just came. And the last 12 months, Liam, it pretty much ended up like every other week to every week. It just went well, especially when she left as well. And it weren't I was heartbroken that she left. Obviously, that was my family unit, my son and her. So when she left, and she left, you know, drugs were a massive part of the reason she left. There was more to it, no doubt, but massive. So now I've got this house, 4-bedroom house, I'm on my own. My family's just left.
And you don't like your own company?
Fucking hate my own company.
Is it the noise?
Like you said to me the other day, you got ADHD, you Brad, and I know I have now. It's taught me all my life to admit that. People have always said something's not right. In the nicest possible way, something's not right with your wiring. I went mental hospital immediately. I was sectioned, you know, back in the day, and they said personality disorder, which I just fucked them off and left when I left. So, but I've defo got ADHD. I'll be doing something over here, and before you know it, I'm over here, and then I'm telling you about that. I'm everywhere. You'll probably see it on the interview. But yeah, the addiction, then she left, the baby, and it just got worse and worse and worse. People thought, and I thought, right, this is definitely the time to fix up now. You just lost your wife, your son's no longer here, which broke my fucking heart. But it didn't work like that in my addiction. My addiction went, fucking can't face that. I can't face that. So I went deeper and deeper and deeper until I've only been clean 4 weeks. Smoked all my life. I've not had a cigarette in 4 weeks. I've not had a beer. I've not had a line, fuck all. And I feel really different. Some people think, oh, fuck off, Brad, you'll fuck it up next month. Well, that's my problem, innit? But I feel different. I've had to move. I've moved again.
It's hard to believe because, I mean, you are an absolute vision of health. To look at the naked eye, you're a vision of health.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that if you saw me with the benders, Liam. Like, I do. For the first 10 years or 20 years of addiction, whatever, it was a one-day bender. I couldn't afford much more than that, you know, and sometimes 36 hours. My last benders, Liam, were touching 11 days. I spent fucking thousands, and that's no bullshit. My dealers will be watching this, they'll know.
And you've slipped into psychosis. What sort of things have you seen?
Well, everyone knows, whoever's watching this from Wigan 3 months ago, you know, I think I was 5, 6, 7 days deep into a bender. I've been in mind, I spend all that time on my own. And when I ring the dealers, I say, don't give me none of that bash shit, you give me the fucking hard shit. I want none of it. I only have the hardcore. I sit on my own and I just fucking go. So I've been awake 5-6 days. All of a sudden, 2 geezers are punching fuck out of me in my house. And they're demanding, I just made money. I just sold the gym. So I just made money. My gym's gone, I've sold it. And they're demanding that money. I run out of the house in my shorts and I run to the local pub. Now, I'm not the toughest man in the world, but I definitely won't run out my house if you come to my house to rob me. We will fight. Yeah, and one of us is going to fucking die. You're in my house. That's my castle, and I believe in that. So, but I've run out of the house. I'm crying. I'm like a fucking bitch. Help me, someone. I run to the pub. I say, call the police. Get me help. Police come. I say, you're not police. Look at that. That walkie-talkie's fake. Fuck you. I'm not coming outside. They're like, Brad, I used to go to your gym. Brad, please come with me. We want to help you. I said, they're outside. They're going to kill me. The nurses have turned up. I've got 8 police in this pub, and I've got 6 nurses all trying to talk to me. Yeah, and I'm saying, you're not really a nurse. Show me ID. Ring your boss. I can see the police saying to each other, like, we're going to need to fucking take him down, but, you know, he's a big c***y. Yeah. They end up convincing me. They put me in the ambulance. They strapped me up in the ambulance. My neighbours turned up. Big cage fighter, Andy. Lovely guy. He went, Brad, but there's no one in the house. I said, fuck off. You're involved, you. You big bastard. You're involved. My other mate turned up, Mike Waite, and he went, psychosis. And as he said it, it was like the spell just went boom. And I looked around and I realised there was no men in my house, Liam. It didn't exist. The nurses were nurses, the police were police. I was one of the people saying, please call the police. I would never, listen, I ain't no gangster, I never have been. But if you want it with me, I will not be calling the police. We can do it however you like. So for me to run around and say, call the police, I'm gone, my mind. And I broke down then and they took me to hospital.
That was your rock bottom?
Rock bottom, but you know what I did? My mate come and got me. Took me home after the hospital, got me loads of food and all that. I went back out to the car, had a quarter in the car, boom, straight back on. Straight back on, ended up falling on a knife. Fell on a knife. I'd put knives all over the house, thinking whoever's coming for me. I fell on one in the bed, stabbed my leg. Fucking blood all over the bed. This is where, and like I say, I've only just stopped. I've only just stopped, Lee. And I hope and I pray that I keep it that way because I'm losing my boy. My only true love on this planet is my son. And I've been a piece of shit, you know, because the addiction, it just takes you further and further away. As much as I know I love him, I let him down. And I don't blame his mum for saying, right now, you're not seeing him. You're not seeing him. She knows I'll never hurt that boy. And she knows deep in her heart I love that boy. But she also knows that when I'm in that way, and if I don't sort it out, I'm meant to pick him up on Friday. I'll not turn up. I'm on a bender.
See, the thing is, you know that you're doing wrong. So it's
Absolutely.
So you're not making excuses, are you?
No excuses.
Which most addicts do.
Yeah.
So you can only, well, I can only tip my hat to you because I know many addicts and they'll make every excuse in the book. They become professional liars. They learn to live, to manipulate everyone. So that they take different routes. They think differently. They behave differently. They feed you any bullshit line you want, but they'll never be accountable. So the fact that you're 4 weeks clean and you're acknowledging your wrongdoings and agreeing with the mother of your child that you shouldn't be near him at the moment,
Yeah.
I think that's progress.
It is progress, mate. I've always been that sort of person. I'd say, if I do something, I'll tell you. I've never been known as a liar. If I fucked up, I'll put my hands up and I'll say I'm sorry.
Do you think bare knuckle boxing could save you? Talk to me about this journey because you've now got yourself in the bare knuckle boxing scene.
Yeah. And I've just recently signed for BKB, which is the biggest in the world. And I can't fucking believe it, Liam, because I did that as an addict.
And you got one of the most viral knockout videos as well.
Yeah.
So when you fight, you go in for the kill, didn't you?
It's not a bit of fight. You got to, ain't you? So that started. And you know why it started? I honestly believed it would save me from addiction. There was a guy in my gym called Dan McGraffin. He was a friend of mine. He was a bare knuckle fighter. And I said, I fancy a bit of that. Can you get me involved? And he did. And I bottled the first one. Because of drugs. I went on a session. Arsehole went, as you do, paranoid, curtain twitching. I can't do that. Anyway, I ended up finally doing it. And I thought there's no better way to stop me doing drugs than knowing that there's going to be a man training for 8 weeks to bare knuckle punch my face in. So it's going to get me clean. It's going to help me. It's going to save me. Keep my family, you know, through bare knuckle fighting. I've had 5 fights so far. I'm 4-1. Been to Poland, Gromda, I've done it all. Every one of them, I was off my nut. I was fucking off my nut, Liam.
Really?
Like, I was coming off benders on a Thursday, Friday, fucking fighting on Saturday. And, you know, the Italian, it's no different. I just been to Amsterdam. I didn't go on a bender there, but I went on a bender 3 days before Amsterdam and then come back, fought the Italian, 3 days later, back on the bender. You know? So it didn't save me. It didn't save me.
No.
Can I now I'm in the right frame of mind? Yeah, definitely got more chance of it helping me now because BKB do random drug tests. This is real professional. I hate saying I'm a professional bare knuckle fighter because it just sounds fucking corny, but we're contracted professional bare knuckle fighters.
It's where it's going.
It's where it's going, it's where it is. So I have to do drug tests now for BKB, which is great for me. I'm accountable. It helps. I need loads of little things to help.
Yes.
Knowing I can't see my son again until my ex-wife, is happy that I'm not going to let him down anymore. I have no doubt she never ever thinks I'm a danger to him, but she does think, let him down, and letdowns are traumas, aren't they? And I don't want him to be trauma.
And you agree that's fair?
100%. But I agree as long as you got to open the door, you got to have a time limit for when I show you that I'm dealing with it. And it's hard for people from the outside to see or believe that because they've probably seen and heard it all before.
What's the biggest battle you've ever fought?
The drugs, mate. The drugs is massive. It's massive. But I'll tell you, these are the things. So right now I'm not on the drugs, right? 4 weeks clean. But here's the problem. There's a reason I do the drugs to the way I do the drugs. And that now is where I'm at. So no one does what I do, fucking 5-day benders. Absolutely, really physically fuck myself up. Like my ribs are on show. I can't, I'm blue. My mind is shot to bits. I've just ruined my reputation. I fucking hate me. I hate me. Everyone's talking Brad. No one's talking worse about me than me. So, but there's a reason you do that. So people see the iceberg, they see the cherry on the cake, which is the drugs. Fucking on a bender in. But the question is why?
What is chewing you up? What are you escaping from? Let me ask you.
Fucking, I just think it's all childhood trauma, Liam. You know, my stepdad knocked me out in front of my whole school. That was traumatic. I was like, one of the boys, at 14 years old, bang, I just knocked out in front of the school. He abused me a lot, not sexually. Physical abuse, belittled me. I had acne when I was growing up. I had really, really bad acne. And I was belittled. He used to call me, you spotty little c***, all the time. My mum would hear this. My mum would allow him to do this to me. She would sometimes join in. I remember once a punch me on the nose, blood all over the kitchen, and she walked in and she just went, you better clean that blood up. You know, so there's a lot of fucking anger. And
there's a lot of trauma as well.
There's a lot of trauma, you know, the stuff that happened to my sister. A lot of stuff happened in prison. You know, the podcast is an hour or so. You know, you can't get through a lot, but there's a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt. And a lot of it, Liam, at the start when I was a kid, wasn't my fault. I'm innocent. But what happens is when you become a man, I cause my own traumas then.
Yeah.
So someone would love me. Girls would love me, yeah. And I would, because of what I'd seen my mum do and all the rejection, the pain, domestic, I would push that person until they left me, and then that would add to my trauma. Oh, she left. And I knew they would. Rejection. I was addicted to rejection. I'd walk in my class sometimes at the gym, and I'm not being big-headed, but if there were 20 girls in that class and 5 of them fancied me, yeah, let's say, I wanted the one that fucking didn't like me. That's just how I was, because I was addicted to rejection. And I didn't realise that. I didn't know that. I didn't know, but this is subconsciously going on because obviously I was rejected by my mother. She never gave me the love and care that, you know, I warranted. Every child, we want that, don't we? And we deserve that.
It's heavy. Are you going to, I mean, I think if you was to do the boxing, I mean, because like it's, you know, it's fight or die. Well, it's fight, fit or die.
Yeah.
You can't be turning up out your nut if you want to go the distance. You combine that with some regular therapy.
I am working with a drug worker. It's not quite the 12 steps, but it's just someone to go back to every 2 weeks. You do a test, you talk to tell them how you feel. And this was the lady that said to me, Brad, you're ADHD. And this is when I've started to realise using drugs with ADHD is fucking chaos. It's different to other people. This is why I react different. I've got mates that, you know, for me, cocaine, I know men that use it and they become confident, they have good sex, they think they can fight, they can talk the fucking knickers off a hind donkey. Me, this is not big-headed, but it's true. I can fight, I can fuck, I can talk to anybody, yeah? Have a line on that. I'm hiding in my own house. My dick's like a fucking mushroom. I can't fight, can't fuck, can't talk, can't do nothing. And you think, well, that has to be mental illness to use that. Why would you use that? I get why Danny uses that. Danny uses it. He becomes fucking cool as fuck. He doesn't ruin his life. And he goes back to work on Monday. It ruins my life and people like me. And that's the difference between users and addicts.
But the thing is, you want to be clean, don't you?
100%.
You want to stay clean. You want to be a better man.
I'm embarrassed. Like it's one of the reasons I continue. I end up on 4 and 5 days because on day 2 or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, who are you? I look in the mirror, shit round my nose. I've lost weight. I'm fucking stink. And I think, who are you?
I mean, that's the thing. You start the drug benders because you want to escape being you, and then you want to escape that person, and then that person.
Even more.
Because you become worse and worse.
So you go deeper and deeper. And that's what it was. I wasn't trying to get high. The first line is to get high. Now it's to stop me coming down. Because now you've made everything, whatever you were trying to escape, I've made it 10 times fucking worse, right? Of course I have. I've gone on a bender. Now the fucking missus has gone nuts. Now you've done this. So you've made everything worse.
You create more things to escape from.
There you go. And that's what happens. I hope that chapter of my life, I'll always be an addict.
I'll tell you what, say something now to yourself that when you watch this back, and every time you watch this back, you hear it. Why do you never want to take drugs again?
The number one reason I never want to take drugs again is because I want to be a good father. My little boy down here is everything to me. And although my previous behaviour has said that he's not, of course, with the drugs, selfish, horrible cunt that I have been, I eradicate them drugs out of my life, and anyone that knows me knows I'm a good man and I can be a great dad, and he deserves that, and I want that, and that is the main thing. The bare knuckle, being the champion, all of that is second to my boy, and that is the mission. And it's taught me long enough, she's been gone long enough, it's time to fucking make that a reality, and he is my driving force to do that. And
do you like who Brad Donovan becomes when he's on drugs?
I fucking hate him. I hate him.
Describe him to me.
He's got no morals. That guy's got no morals. I've got morals. I swear to God, if you drop $5 out your pocket, I would chase you up the street and give it back to you. If we was on a bender and it come to the last little bag and you turn around, I'd fucking nick that bag off you. I've got no morals. I have done all sorts on the gear. I've robbed people on the gear. I've done everything. It's vile. I have no respect. I lost my family because of it. My dad doesn't speak to me because of it. It's just a game changer, mate. And as I say, I'm extreme. I never started in boxing and went to bare knuckle. I went straight to bare knuckle. I don't do anything by half. So when someone else has a gram, I'm doing an ounce, and we're 7 days. It's awful, but with that comes massive consequences. And I paid the price for that.
What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is not changing. It's not changing, and my legacy, because this is not being fucking big-headed and that, but I just think I'm built for so much more. So much more than sitting in the fucking dark room watching porn up, wanking a mushroom of a cock for 3 days. I think I'm built for something. Yeah, it does not change. My legacy to be, he's a fucking junkie. He's a junkie. And everyone say what he could have been, and I never got to reach it. Because I know that God has put me here for something else, because I should be dead. With the life I've led, with the things that have happened to me, I should be dead. 11-day bender, 11 days on my own. To where the dealers are saying, Brad, we can't give you no more. You're fucking blue. Like, I would go blue. My circulation would stop. And I would say to them, don't fucking start all that shit. You start me on the bender, you finish it. Until I say. And I look now, they was only trying to save me fucking life. But, it's a bit, when you've had a grand of me, we'll stop when I say.
Because by rights, what should happen now is you should go and make the changes that you really want and desire. And stay clean for another year. Excel in the BKB. Get your son back, become the man that you should be and want to be, and then be back sat here in a year's time with another story, but a nice, positive story. Yeah. Although you have said some things that I really admire. I mean, anyone that deals with sex cases correctly, I will tip my hat to them. I don't care how extreme it is. For me, they all need to swing. So for that, I think it's tremendous work. Yeah. Some people will agree, some people won't. I don't give a shit, because I know the damage that these sex cases cause is everlasting.
100%, Liam. And it's just a shame that our system, I believe the system's rigged and it wants paedophilia. And people say, what do you mean? Well, I say, okay then, if me and my mate have a conversation on WhatsApp, and we send each other pictures of a bank, Barclays, and we talk about how much enjoyment we're going to get over getting 50 grand out of it, yeah? We'll get 15 years in jail for conspiracy to commit armed robbery. Now, let's change the bank and the money for children photos, yeah, for pornographic photos of children. And we're going to get gratification over looking at each other's photos because we're fucking nonsense. We walk from court.
Hugh Edwards.
Hugh Edwards. So how can you tell me that at the very top they don't condone it? Because they'll give me 15 years for talking about robbing a bank, but they won't give me 15 fucking minutes if I talk about, look at that sexy little fucking 7-year-old. Yeah, nonsense. And they should be eradicated. The only thing I've got against the death sentence for them is making sure they did it.
Yes.
You have to fucking make sure. And if you're sure and you're certain, fucking castrate them. Throw them in the river. Who gives a fuck?
Have you got any regrets?
Yeah, well, I've got a load of fucking regrets, Liam, but one of my biggest regrets is I'm in a new relationship now, so it's hard to probably talk about this, but it would be wrong to tell my life story without mentioning the girl that was the love of my life, and that was a girl called Lindsay. I met Lindsay, I wasn't too after Andrea, and me and Lindsay were just something else. You know, at start, we were an absolute power couple. We were either fucking or fighting, though. There was no in-between with us. It was non-stop. But she was, in my world, the love of my life, and she never did anything wrong to me. When I talk about the fight, it was always fucking me. It was always me. I'd shag blah blah up the road, or I'd, been messaging some fucking slut, whatever I'd been doing. It was always me. And she was the love of my life, and I fucked that up. And we're now good friends, and I'm so happy that she's back in my life, and we're good friends, and the respect I have for her is unbelievable. And that is a regret of mine, dipping my dick for short-term gratification and losing the only woman that I've truly ever wanted to be with. Obviously, now we're friends and I've got a new bird and life has gone that way. But to tell my story without mentioning her
Would be wrong.
would be fucking wrong, yeah. And it might piss off the new bird. Oh, you bet. It might piss off some of the other birds that, Lindsay was the one. And if you watched on our story together, it was chaotic, but wherever you put me is going to be chaos. That doesn't mean you're chaos, right? It just means I'm chaos and it comes with me. So she wasn't chaos for me. She was a good girl, a good woman, and whoever's lucky enough to end up with her is on a winner.
And in an ideal world, what does the future look like, Brad
For
Donovan?
me, back with my son, I get my son, maybe have him every weekend or whatever, a couple of days in a week, whatever suits the ex-wife. I just want my son back, because being a dad is so important to me, and not letting him down, Liam, breaks my heart. It's broke my heart. So that's massive to me. But also, I really do want to become something in the bare knuckle world, and I'm on my way. I don't know how. I look sometimes, I'm like a conflicting character. I lay on my bird's belly, suck my thumb, I pissed the bed till I was 14, yeah? Bullied, victim. And I'm very much loving. I'm very loving, very loving. But when we get in that ring and that bell goes, something just switches on and I just want to fucking break your face. Now, that's not ego, I'm hard. It's just the truth. And I also know, but I'm doing it to a man that wants to break my face. And he's capable of it. So a lot of people, they go, yeah, I'm a fighter, I'm not blah, blah. In the pub, it's like, that's not a fighting, man. No. Most times you hit people, even me, I'll be arguing with a fellow in the pub and bang, and I've hit him. That's not a fighting, man. That's not a fight. A fight is, are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Yeah? And you both had 8 weeks to train for it. So, anything other than that is not a fight. So I feel like I'm born for that world. I'm coming up to my 6th fight. I've only been in it 13 months. That's very, very, very active for a bare knuckle fighter. Most have 2 a year. So I'm doing well. I'm 4-1. I got asked to represent the UK as the captain of the bare knuckle team when we go to Gromda again in Poland. But do you know what upsets me, Lee? Someone said to me, what would you say you're good at, Brad? And I said, fucking hurting people. And I don't just mean physical, bare knuckle and all that. I mean, when I look at my legacy so far in my life, it's hurting people. I'm now known as bare knuckle fighter. I hurt people. Lucky for me, I am hurting people that want to fight. But the people that I've hurt, mostly are the people that I love. And that right now is my legacy. And I want to change that.
And would you say that's down to addiction?
Nah, not all down to addiction, Lee. You got to take fucking responsibility. Some of it is down to trauma. So when you're traumatized as a child, you end up doing shit that then leads you to certain places like prison. So now I put myself in prison. That wasn't my mum, my dad, my stepdad. That weren't no one else. That was me. Don't get me wrong, them choices are affected by your childhood. But I ended up causing my own traumas. I ended up choosing bad roads. I did. Was I influenced? Was it my circumstance, my environment? Definitely. But I still had a choice. I still had a choice. I had a choice, should I stay with that good woman? I didn't. I had a choice, should I not commit that crime? I didn't. Should I take drugs in the first place? I wasn't an addict when I first took them. I didn't. I took all the fucking wrong choices. But the good thing about my story is, mate, I'm still standing. I'm still here. Somehow I've gone through all that. Anyone that knows me knows I've got a good heart. I've got a really good heart. If you're vulnerable, old, disabled, anything like that, right? I feel like, because you're not a threat to me, I can be so gentle and loving around you. It was written about me in prison. It said, when a vulnerable prisoner comes on the wing, Brad is very round them and looks after them. When when a guy comes on, another tough guy or whatever, my back goes up. And it's just not because I want to attack him, it's because I feel he's going to attack me. So, but I've got to work on a lot of stuff. I really have got to work on a lot of stuff.
And will you document this online?
Yeah, I'm a very, very vocal on social media.
So you'll use your Instagram to
definitely
showcase your progression?
Definitely, yeah. My fight's next month at the O2 Arena, and I put on my post every day, and it's either talking about my addiction, God, or my fighting. You know, and hopefully it's normally about my son, but I've not seen him for 6 weeks now, so that's my social media. So if you want to give me a follow, come down to Brad523 on Insta.
Okay, I'm going to put Brad's social media links in the description. I mean, it's a hell of a life story. It's one of the maddest ones I've ever heard. If you want to continue following Brad's journey, he's going to document it on his social media, which you can find links below. Like and subscribe to this channel so you can keep receiving conversations like this that you're never going to hear on the mainstream because they're far too wild. And for me, I know that people like yourself and even people like me, we're always going to be in recovery, but I hope you recover.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Liam. I appreciate it, brother.
No way,
nice
brother.
one.
Big love, man.
Yeah, man.